right now. All right, and welcome to tonight's matchup between the Indian Hill Braves and Deer Park Wildcats at the Indian Hill High School Gymnasium. This is the Braves look off to get another win this week. Remain at the top of the field. And with the opening chant, the game is about to begin. Deer Park will serve for the beginning of this exciting match. And the ball sails out of bounds, point one to Deer Park. Serve sails out of bounds, also behind the line. And Indian Hill gets their first point of the evening. Indian Hill, their first serve of the match. And it goes out of bounds off of Deer Park's number 15, and Indian Hill gets their second point. The serve. And no set. There was no set there. Indian Hill gets their second point. Oh, sorry, their third point. Hit over. The set. Oh, and a save. But it goes off the net, and Indian Hill gets their fourth point. They currently lead Deer Park 4-1. Up in the air, barely avoiding the net, but with nowhere to put it, it goes out of bounds. Indian Hill's fifth point of the night. Serve. Hit off the wire on the ceiling, though the official didn't see it. Would have gone out of bounds, but Indian Hill hits it anyway. And the spike hits the top of the net. And Indian Hill gets the point. Six to 1 Braves. Remarkable serve, catching everyone on Deer Park off guard. 7-1. Timeout has been taken by the Deer Park Wildcats, their first of the night. Right now, Indian Hill is dominating on almost every level, with only one minor mistake right as the match began. Deer Park appears to be going back over team strategy as they come out of the huddle, ready to try to tie the game up. serve. Once again, a failed set by a Deer Park player results in an Indian Hill point. 8-1 Braves. The 8th serve by Indian Hill. Off the net, does not go over, and Indian Hill once again scores. The serve. Up in the air. The set. Hit over. Indian Hill. The hit out of bounds. Oh no! They ruled it in off the line. Indian Hill is now up 10-1. It is a blowout. Again, Indian Hill with the serve. Hit up, safe from going out of bounds, and hit over the net. Out of bounds again. Deer Park seems to be having a hard time controlling the ball tonight. The serve. Hit up in the air by number 14. Safe from going out of bounds. A desperation heave. Does not make it over. Indian Hill has scored their 12th consecutive point on Deer Park. The serve. And a whiff. Indian Hill keeping the streak alive with 13 points on Deer Park. And now the serve. The spike. Indian Hill scores their 14th point straight. After a shaky start, the Braves have recovered well and are beating Deer Park at their own game, literally. Hit up, the set, spike, denied by Indian Hill. Once again, the Braves score. Hitting it over the net. Good hit to save it. Spike lands inbounds on the right side, and Indian Hill scores point number 16. The serve. Hit in the air. Safe from going out of bounds. Does not make it over the net once again. And the Braves are now up 17-1 after starting down 1-0. The serve. Near saved somehow. Does not make it over the net once again. Appears Deer Park is having a hard time communicating this evening. The serve. In the air, reaches over the net, and Indian Hill has a miscommunication. And for the first time since it was 1-0, Deer Park scores. Substitution as number 2 replaces number 8 on Deer Park side. Deer Park on just their 3rd serve of the night. Hit by Piper Cowman. Denied by Deer Park, saved again. Hit over. Hit by Deer Park. The setup. Hit again. Piper hits it up. Over the net, saved. This seems to be a good rally. Hit over. Denied by Indian Hill. This is quite a run they're having. 19 points to 1 in the last 20 points. Piper is now serving. Deer Park wasn't ready, but they still managed to save it. And they hit it out of bounds past the far left corner. Indian Hill now leads 20-2. And the hit fails to reach it over the net. Indian Hill once again scores. The score now 21-2 in favor of the Lady Braves. Piper with the serve. Hit twice. And saved by Piper. Will they manage to hit it again? No! Deer Park manages to score their third point. They hope now to rally and somehow come back from this extreme deficit. Substitution by Deer Park. Number 1 comes in to replace number 10 at the front lines. Number 16 is now also taken over as the server. Serve. Out of bounds. Indian Hill scores point number 22. Substitution for Indian Hill. Lily Kent is now taking over as server. He hits it. Deer Park hits it twice. Fail to make it over once again. Indian Hill is now leading 23-3. The serve. Inbounds in the far left corner. And Lily Kent manages to make it 24-3 Braves. Match point. The serve. Hit by Deer Park, and it fails to make it over the net. Indian Hill wins the first match 25-3. An all-out dominant performance by everyone on the Indian Hill team. They lead 25-3 at the first side change. Two-minute break between matches is now about 30 seconds underway. Very hot gym tonight. The Braves have 4 fans along with the main 2 at the top of the building. And it has not changed much. Indian Hill looks confident after winning the first match handily and are now getting ready for the next match. As they lead the series 1-0. And with 1 second on the clock, the buzzer sounds, and we're about to get our second round of women's volleyball. Because they're both in red jerseys, it may be unclear, but Indian Hill is now on the right side and Deer Park is on the left. They have switched places. Do wait for the referee to give the signal. Indian Hill this time will start off serving on the right side. Hit by Lily Kent. Twice by Deer Park. Will it make it over the net? Yes, it will. Piper hits it up in the air. The set. The spike manages to get past and in between two Deer Park players. And Indian Hill scores the first point of the match and lead 1-0. Leah with the serve. Hits it up in the air. The set. Hit over the net, and Deer Park manages to tie it up. This is the first time Deer Park hasn't been trailing since it was 1-0 in the first match. They now look to take the lead. The hit, and it sails out of bounds. Indian Hill scores their second point. Lauren Sewell now comes to sub in. It appears she will be serving. Deer Park hits it twice and do not get it over the net. And Indian Hill now leads 3-1. The serve. Hit up in the air. Number 18 hits it. Number 15 with the hit over. Piper manages to save it. Lauren with the hit. Deer Park does not get it over. Indian Hill with their fourth point. Once again, Lauren with the serve. Hit once, hit twice. Number 15 hits it over. Soft tap to Lauren Sewell. Set for Audrey Bristol. Hit, saved, managed to get it over the net. Lauren and Piper seem to hit the ball at the same time. Saved again. Once again, they get it over. Lily Kent. Sewell with the setup. And Deer Park gets the point on a violation of some sort by Indian Hill. Number 10 of Deer Park with the serve. They trail 4-2. Oh, and they managed to catch Indian Hill off guard and score their second straight point. First time they've scored 2 points consecutively all night. Out of bounds, barely. And Indian Hill manages to get the point and lead 5-3. Audrey Bristol comes out. Piper with the serve. Hit once, hit twice. Number 1 of Deer Park hits it over, and it is out of bounds again. The Braves now lead 6-3. serve off the shoulder of number 15 of Deer Park. And the Braves have now scored their 7th point of the match. If the Braves keep up this pace, they will win their 2nd game this evening. Hit in the air. Number 18 with the setup to number 1. Punches it over, and it is in the very corner. Deer Park gets point number 4. Substitution as number 16 replaces number 14 for Deer Park. The serve. Hit by Piper. The hit twice. Number 2 now attempts to hit it over, but does not make it over the net. Indian Hill now scores their 8th point. 2 substitutions. Hit once. Does not make it over. It appeared as though it would, but it didn't, and Deer Park was not ready to make that kind of adjustment. The Braves now lead 9-4. The serve. Hit once. Hit twice. Number 16 hits a light tap, and Lauren Sewell manages to hit it up. Hit again. And it goes out of bounds, and Deer Park scores their 5th point for the first time tonight. The most they made last match, and the entirety of it was 4 points, and so far they've managed to beat that already. The serve. Piper, it's in the air. Hit in the air again. Over the net. Deer Park manages to hit it straight back over. The set. Oh, what a jump and a spike. And Indian Hill now leads 10-5. The hit. Saved by Indian Hill, just over. And the hit by Deer Park's barely out of bounds to the right. And Indian Hill scores their 11th point of the match. They lead 11-5. The serve. Hit once. Over the net. Saved by number 1. 15 with the set. And it goes over. Piper hits it. The set. The spike. And it goes, sails over number 18's head. And Indian Hill now leads 12-5. It appears Indian Hill has settled back into their groove and are once again dominating Deer Park. The hit does not reach. Miscommunication by 2 Deer Park players results in Indian Hill's 13th point. The Braves are serving again. Hit in the air, barely over the net. The set. Off the shoulder of number 21 on Deer Park. And Indian Hill scores point number 14. They now lead 14-5 with no timeouts being called so far. The serve. Their 16 hits it in the air. Number 18 with the set. Hit over by number 21. It's saved. The set. Spike. And again, Deer Park does not seem ready for the turn. And it is 15-5 Indian Hill. Deer Park calls their first timeout. 1 minute timeout. Deer Park does not seem to be ready for that high-speed returns Indian Hill has been sending them and have suffered from it. They lost the first game handily, and it appears it will be going that way again unless they make a sudden change to the timeout. The Braves are already ready, and The timeout isn't even halfway done with. Deer Park still seems to be strategizing. The serve. Saved by Deer Park. The set. Number 8 hits it over. Piper with the set. The setup. The spike, and once again it catches Deer Park off guard as Indian Hill scores point number 16. Deer Park and the referee seem to have some chatter. Indian Hill with another serve. Straight up in the air. And Deer Park doesn't seem to know what's what and who's hitting the ball. And Indian Hill once again scores. They now lead 17-5. On the serve, number 15 of Deer Park doesn't hit the ball high enough in the air, and it sails below the net. Indian Hill scores point number 18. Leading by 13, the Braves score. Hit. Number 1 saves it. Number 15 manages to hit it over. The hit, the set, the spike, save. Number 15 saves it again. They must hit it over the net. They do. The hit, the set, the tap. Oh, and it manages to catch Deer Park off guard. And Indian Hill scores point number 19. They seem to be calm, collected, and focused as a team. And Deer Park is a little bit slower. Served by Indian Hill. And tipped out of bounds and nearly nails some fans in the audience. 20-5 Braves, 5 points away from another victory. The serve. Set. A little too far back, but it's still saved. Hit up twice. Avoiding the fan. Hit by Deer Park. The set. And a violation against Deer Park, and Indian Hill scores, leading now 21-5. The Braves are not relenting, and they've scored their 12th point straight. Hit in the air, but not anywhere near another Deer Park player. Indian Hill scores point number 22. Serve. Barely makes it over, and Deer Park scores. Point number 6. This is the first time Deer Park has scored in a while. Oh no, Indian Hill gets the point, excuse me. The Braves score point number 23. Hit up. Set. And nowhere near another Deer Park player as we enter match point as Indian Hill leads 24-5. Albeit a few mistakes in the beginning, the Braves have been dominating ever since as they look to win the second set of the night. The serve, hit, over the net. The Braves get the set up. And Deer Park does not manage to save it, and Indian Hill wins set number 2, 25-5. They go to switch sides once again. As we reach a 3-minute break between sets, the Braves are up 2-0. looking to win right here. It cannot be stressed how hot it is tonight. Everyone is sweating. Everyone is drinking water. Yet the Braves are still dominating. Thank you. Indian Hill looks to win 3-0 and make a clean sweep of the Deer Park Wildcats coming up. But first, they have to make sure they don't get overconfident and stick to the skills that have taken them up this far. With just over a minute remaining before the game resumes, the Deer Park Wildcats seem to be intently strategizing to see how they can come back from this deficit. If they can manage to do it after getting dominated the first 2 matches, it will certainly be a game to remember. The Braves are getting ready from set number 3 tonight, and the Wildcats still trying to find a strategy that can save them from an utter demise. The line judges are getting set, and the referee is about to call the signal.
It's SDIN. Be a little costly. We can get these that are actually SDI clients, and then go SDI out from one of these. Yeah, this is an anchor. You need a deep on that side.
Alvin Simon Theodore.
With the theory, it can be done.
We now wait as Deer Park figures out some substitution issues. And it appears Deer Park will once again be serving. And here we go, the final set of the night, if Indian Hill can manage to win. I know. And it sails out of bounds by a hair, and Indian Hill scores the first point of the set. Warren Sewell comes to sub in. She will be serving. Hit in the air. Number 21 with the set. Number 10 manages to save it. The hit, the set, the spike, and once again, Deer Park is nowhere near. Braves take another lead, another early lead, 2-0. Warren Sewell with the serve. Hit once. Saved by number 10. Hit not quite hit over by number 21. Braves lead 3-0. The heat in the gym seems to be throwing the Deer Park players off as they don't seem to have the strength late in the game to hit it over the net. Sewell with a serve. Miscommunication as 14 and 21 hit the ball out of bounds off of each other. The Braves take a lead of 4-0. Sewell serves. Hit in the air, over the net. The Braves set up. Spike, and it is, despite being tip by Deer Park as it ran over the net. There's no one else for them to deflect it to, and the Braves take another point and lead 5-0. Lauren serves. Hit in the air. No one's there to set, and it's barely saved. Hit over the net. Would have gone out of bounds, but Piper saves it anyway. Sewell sets it up. Hit over. 21 saves it. Hit over the net. Piper. It's a Sewell. Deer Park manages to hit it off the spike. Throw it over. And it is in bounds, and Deer Park scores their first point of the night. Barely managed to catch the very edge of the left line. Seems to be a little frustration on the Indian Hill bench. The hit. Hit by Lauren. Hit over, but not over the net. It's behind it, and Deer Park scores point number 2. The serve. Commanding hit. Piper saves it. Set by Lauren. And it hits the very edge of the line, and Indian Hill scores their 6th point of the match. After 2 straight points by Deer Park, they seem to be regaining their composure. The hit. Barely over the net, and Indian Hill manages to score despite a few players not aware that the set started. The serve as the Braves lead 7-2. Hit in the air. Set by number 18. Over the net, and number 5 hits it sailing out of bounds. But there's a violation on Indian Hill as Deer Park scores point number 3. The serve. Lily hits it once. Lauren sets it up. The spike. Saved by number 21. Hit by number 18. And tapped over. Lily manages to save it. The set by Lauren. Hit over again, and Indian Hill finally takes advantage and scores their 8th point of the evening. Multiple subs for Indian Hill. Indian Hill leads 8-3 and serve the ball. Hit by number 21, set by number 10. And number 1 fails to make it over on the dig. And Indian Hill now leads 9-3. The serve. Low but saved. Over by Deer Park. And they fail to save it before it crosses over to Indian Hill's side. The Braves lead 10-3. Once again, the Braves serve. Hit over. The set by number 18. Number 1 punches it over, and they score their 4th point. This is the fastest that Deer Park has reached 4 points all night. They hope to capitalize on the opportunity and win their first set of the evening. Serve. Line drive, hard. Set. Audrey on the hit. Hits it out of bounds, and Deer Park scores their 5th point as they now only trail 10-5. And the serve sails out of bounds. The Braves get their 11th point. Serve. Hit once. Number 18 hits it once, too. 21. Tipped at number 8. Piper. It's in the air. And there was a miscommunication. The first since game 1 for Indian Hill. And Deer Park manages to score their 6th point. I'm correct. This is either tied for or the most points Deer Park has scored all night. Set. Saved by Deer Park. Hit over, but Indian Hill is ready. Set. Thrown over, and it hits the roof. And Deer Park was not ready to make an adjustment. It's the Braves scored .12 of the night. Of the set. Excuse me. Piper Kalman on the serve. Hit once, hit twice. Hit over by Deer Park. Saved. Piper with the set. Saved. 21. The hit over. Indian Hill is ready. The set. And the spike is saved again. Deer Park is playing the best they've played all night as they hit it over, and it sails out of bounds. The Braves lead now 13-6. The serve. The set by number 18. But a violation occurs, and the Braves score point number 14. Fans in the audience. Serve by Piper Kalman. Hit by number 18. And a violation again by Deer Park as the Braves score their 15th point already. They lead Deer Park 15-6. And Piper hits it out of bounds. And Deer Park, for sure now, has hit their most points of the night with point number 7 right here. Substitution by Deer Park as number 14 comes in to replace 16. Deer Park is down 8 as they serve. Hard line drive. Piper saves it. Nearly makes it over the net. Soft tap. The set. Hit over. Saved. The set. It's over and Deer Park is not ready. Hitting no man's land between 3 players. The Braves score point number 16. They would now lead by 9. The Braves look to again capitalize on this lead. The serve by Lily Kent. And Deer Park was not ready as Indian Hill now leads by 10. Lily Kent again with the serve. Hit in the air and nearly lands in the trash can as Indian Hill scores their 18th point. The Braves have just been owning every single facet of the game tonight. Serving, speed, teamwork. Serve. Does not make it over the net for the first time for an Indian Hill player tonight as Deer Park scores point number 8. They trail now 18-8 with number 21 serving. Saved by Piper Kalman. The set by number 11. Deer Park manages to score point number 9. Despite the hustle by several Indian Hill players, they do not manage to capitalize. And Lily Kent accidentally hits the ball twice, and the Wildcats score point number 11. The serve does not make it over as they fail to capitalize on this opportunity. The Braves are now 6 points away from winning the match. The serve. Hit in the air. The set. Hit over. Lily manages to save it. The set by Lauren. Piper hits it over. Number 21 saves it. The set by number 18. 15 hits it over. Lauren saves it. The set. Hit over and into no man's land once again as the Braves are now just 5 points away from winning it all in a clean sweep. Serve. Hit once, will it make it over? It aches it over twice, but Deer Park manages to save it. And it is hit out of bounds by Deer Park on the ricochet. The Braves score point number 21. Though Deer Park has certainly been outplayed tonight, they've improved each match. The set. Save. Hit over. Hit by Lily. Set up by Lauren. Piper hits it over. Inbounds. The very edge. Indian Hill manages to score point 22. And Deer Park calls their first timeout of the set. With the Braves just 3 points from glory and a clean sweep of tonight's volleyball match. Ooh. 20 seconds left in the timeout. And for the first time, the Deer Park comes out of the timeout first. They seem to be focused, hoping to manage to pull a victory out despite the slim chance. Ward with the serve. Hit once. Set by number 18 backwards. Hit over the net. Does not make it. And Indian Hill just 2 points away from clinching the victory as they lead 23-10. The set barely makes it over the net. Number 18 hits it. And it does not make it over. Indian Hill is now 1 point away. Deer Park clings to a very small chance of winning, but they seem determined as they're in their stance. Hit once, hits the ceiling, and they're not ready. Indian Hill wins the match, wins the set, and a thrilling 3-0 sweep as the Braves remain dominant over Deer Park. Indian Hill came aggressive, fast-paced, and Deer Park did not seem ready. Well, we seem to be reaching the end of our broadcast. If you came to tune in after the game, thank you. Hope to see more volleyball games that end like this in the rest of the season. And thank you.